Okay, let's talk about a shift in technology that is so big it's set to completely redefine how you work by 2026. And no, we're not just talking about a smarter AI. We're talking about an AI that actually does things. Welcome to the era of AI agents.
So, we've all gotten pretty used to AI that can chat with us, write an email, or even create an image. And look, that's impressive stuff, but it's passive, right? It just sits there and waits for us to tell it what to do. But what if that was just the beginning? What if AI could do so much more than just talk back to us? What if it could take that huge leap from just answering your questions to actually acting on your behalf? I mean, imagine an AI that doesn't just get what your goal is, but then goes out and works across all your different apps to make it happen. This isn't some sci-fi dream. This is the start of a massive, massive shift. And that leads us right into our first big idea. We're witnessing the dawn of what's called agentic AI. This is where we officially move beyond just asking AI for answers and into a world where we task it with achieving our goals. So what in the world is agentic AI? Well, to put it simply, it's an AI that can understand a goal you give it, create a plan to get there, and then actually execute that plan across different apps and systems. And, this is key, it's all done with a human, with you in the loop. This isn't some far-off prediction, by the way. This is the decisive business shift that's happening right now. You know, this really changes the game and how we interact with our computers. For decades, we've been stuck in this instruction-based world. You know the drill. Open this spreadsheet, copy this column, paste it over here. We had to dictate every single step. Now we're stepping into an era of intent-based computing. You just state your goal, your intent, and the AI agent figures out all the steps to get it done. That is a huge evolution. Okay, so if the AI is handling the how, you might be wondering what's left for us to do. Well, that brings us to this idea of a new human agent workforce, where every single employee's role starts to shift from a doer into an orchestrator. And if you think this is all just theory, you've got to see this. A recent survey found that over half, 52%, of executives at companies already using Gen AI have these agents in production today. This isn't a forecast for 2026, it's already happening. So where are businesses actually using them? Take a look at this breakdown. It's pretty amazing how evenly it's spread across the board. You've got customer service, marketing, security, tech support, product innovation. It's everywhere. And that tells you something really important. This isn't some niche tool for one department. It's becoming a foundational part of the entire business. Let's try to make this a little more real. How does this actually change someone's job day to day? There's this great example of the 10x marketing manager, a professional whose impact is literally amplified tenfold because of these new tools. So instead of getting buried in all the tiny details, this manager now gets to conduct an entire orchestra of specialized AI agents. They've got a data agent finding patterns in the market, an analyst agent watching competitors 24/7, content agents drafting copy and creating visuals, and a reporting agent summarizing how it's all performing. You see the shift? The manager's job isn't doing all the work anymore, it's directing the work. And this brings up an absolutely crucial point. This is not about replacing people. I love this quote from Albert Lai at Google Cloud. Humans will remain the orchestrators and final decision makers. The agents are assistants, really powerful assistants, sure, but they're there to augment what we do, not automate us out of a job. Okay, let's move on and see how this all builds into something even bigger, creating what you could call a proactive business frontline. This is where agentic AI really starts to transform the entire customer experience and the guts of a business's operations. Oh, man, we've all been there, right? Stuck talking to a chatbot, going in circles. Please enter your 12-digit order number. Ugh. Now, compare that with an agentic concierge. Because it's connected to your data, it already knows who you are, what you just bought, and it can actually anticipate why you're calling. That's the leap from generic, frustrating automation to truly personal and helpful service. But it gets even better. It's not just about having better conversations. An agentic system can be proactive. It doesn't wait for you to complain. In this scenario, it sees a delivery failed. It checks the system, sees the van broke down, automatically reschedules your delivery, applies a service credit for the trouble, and then texts you to let you know the solution is already in place. The problem is solved before you even knew you had one. That is an absolute game changer. Now, when you start stringing these proactive agents together, you're not just solving one-off problems. You're basically building a digital assembly line for your business. It's a series of multi-step workflows guided by you where different agents work together to run an entire process from beginning to end. But is all this effort worth it? Does it actually pay off? Well, the numbers are pretty staggering. An incredible 88% of the early adopters are already seeing a positive return on their investment. So yeah, this isn't just cool tech, it's delivering serious business value right now. But here's the thing. All of this powerful technology, all this potential, it all hinges on one single critical element: the people who use it. And that brings us to what might be the most important piece of this whole puzzle: scaling with human skill. This quote from Shweta Maniar just nails the challenge ahead. By 2026, companies are going to need people who are agent orchestrators. But that job, that expertise, it just doesn't really exist yet. And that creates this huge, urgent skills gap that we all need to start thinking about. The good news is, for once, it seems like everyone is on the same page. You almost never see alignment like this. 82% of the bosses know that training is the key to staying ahead. And on the flip side, 84% of employees are actively asking for more training on AI. The demand is there, from the top all the way to the bottom. So how do companies actually get this done? Well, the report lays out a really clear 5-pillar framework. You've got to start by setting clear goals and getting leaders on board. From there, it's all about integrating this stuff into daily work, preparing for the risks, and figuring out how to keep the momentum going. It's a solid roadmap for building a workforce that's ready for this. Okay, let's pull all these threads together and really focus on what this means for you personally. This last section is all about your role in 2026 and this big shift from doer to director. If you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this: your value in the near future isn't just going to be about doing the tasks. It's going to be about your strategy, your creativity, your judgment. Your role is fundamentally changing from a doer to a director, the one who orchestrates these incredibly powerful new tools. And you know, that's the real opportunity here. By letting these agents handle the boring, repetitive, low-value stuff, it frees us up to focus on what we humans are actually good at: the creative work, the strategic thinking, the empathy. This is how we build companies that aren't just faster and smarter, but maybe, just maybe, a little more human too. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. This transformation is already here. The tools are rolling out, and our jobs are changing right along with them. As you look ahead to 2026, the question really isn't if you'll be using these tools, but how. So, what will you orchestrate?